30 seconds.
Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm supposed to taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Yeah, why would you bet on Goliath when we got Bet David? Valuetainment, giving values contagious. This world of entrepreneurs, we get no value to haters. How they run, homie, look what I become. I'm the one.
Okay, fantastic. Today we have with us, Kelly, we can see you. Today we have with us Erik Prince, the former founder of Blackwater. And Blackwater got $1.6 billion of contracts from the government, $600 billion, I think, from CIA during the time that he worked together. And while I was seeing all the stuff that was going on with the assassination attempt on the president, one of the things immediately I remembered, Erik, was our conversation we had last time when I asked you, I don't know why you stopped driving the PMC, and I kept encouraging you that I think we need PMC because I think we need competition for public and private. And I posted, I said, I wonder if on a mission like this, and Erik Prince his mission is, hey, for the next 5 months, Erik, we need you to make sure all these rallies that Trump's going to do, you can't stop him from doing rallies. He's going to go talk to a bunch of different people. You know, Erik, we need to make sure everything's safe, nothing to worry about, Secret Service and the PD working together, all of this stuff. All I kept thinking about is what you would do. And I know right now you're at the RNC and you're able to get away and find some good Wi-Fi for us to hear your point of view. But I'll start off with a very open-ended question. Your thoughts on the way Secret Service handled themselves at the recent events with the assassination attempt?
Grotesque malpractice. If they were any kind of private contractor, they would be sued for violating and ignoring the most basic concepts of security preparedness and maintaining a perimeter. The fact that an armed man with a rifle got within 140 yards of a Trump rally, was able to lay down after positioning himself for minutes and take multiple aimed shots to the point of clipping Trump's ear, killing other people in the crowd, is absolutely grotesque. It's either malice, as I said in a Twitter post, it's either malice or malpractice, gross incompetence. That anyone with any training whatsoever that would stand at the podium where Trump was speaking from and look around and say, where's the likely spot someone's to shoot from? Yeah, it's going to be to the right, where the shooter was, on top of those industrial buildings. And the fact is they had no one watching over that is truly mind-boggling. It was outside of their immediate perimeter. Yeah, that's fine. Just because you don't want your perimeter to be 100 yards doesn't mean someone can. Especially today with modern rifles. And that's just for a gunshot. They also have to really contend with drones. The amount of weapon knowledge and lethality improvement coming out of the Ukraine fight from both sides is really scary. And the executive protection world hasn't yet felt just how bad that's going to hurt. But I mean, supposedly a 20-year-old kid works through dead space, and dead space is the area that you can hide where the buildings are providing cover, blocking the view of you from the people that are looking for you. He used dead space. He crawled up to the far side of the roof, appeared, and took a number of shots. It is disgusting. Now, even once the shots were going, and you know, the Secret Service can say, well, they didn't have enough manpower and maybe it wasn't better coordinated, but the immediate agents that were around Trump, okay, the immediate close protection detail, was also hugely inept in that they left him on the X. The X is where the bad guy has decided to kill you that day. And the immediate mission of the protective team is to get the protectee off the X and to protect him on the way off the X. And some of the agents were actually taking cover behind Trump from the gunfire. And it took them way too long. And you could even hear some of the radio chatter. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we going? That is not how a professional team is supposed to look and sound. It should be autonomic. It should be so drilled to them, they know exactly what to do. If A, then B, if B, then C, and then C, and then D. They know exactly what the permutations are and how to do it. and they just missed on so many levels. It's really, really, it's embarrassing. It is like I opened with that article. It is another example of an unaccountable, overfunded bureaucracy embarrassing America. We're embarrassed in Afghanistan. We're embarrassed with this nonsense of a pier in Gaza, $230 million that doesn't even do its job. We're embarrassed by the Navy that manages to lose control of the Red Sea, one of the major waterways of the world. And now our own former president, soon to be future president, also embarrassing. It was not their skill that saved him. It was bad marksmanship and a wind call. And the fact that Trump turned his head at the last minute is the only thing that saved his life. The Secret Service didn't save him life, and that is pathetic. The reason the Secret Service was started in the first place was to provide executive protection. Clearly, they have failed abysmally at that mission.
Erik, I want to, you, by the way, you said a lot of things here, Rob. If we can show the one clip of the Secret Service agent that's ducking behind her, she's afraid for her life instead of protecting the president's life, which you showed that picture a minute ago, Rob. If you can pull it back up for the audience to see. And I know Erik recognizes the picture. Then there's another one where we're all seeing a video of one of the agents trying to put the gun back into her, you know,
try to reholster her weapon.
Exactly. Yep. And so this is one that she's hiding, like, oh my God, I hope they don't shoot me, instead of trying to protect the president. But I want to show you a clip, because there's a video that's going viral right now where they're showing 2 minutes prior of the shooting what happened. And I actually want to get commentary of this from you while we're watching it together with the audience. Rob, if you can get this ready, the clip of all the different angles, and there's audience saying, listen, there's a man climbed up on top of that building. What are we doing? I want to get your feedback on this. Go ahead and play the clip, Rob.
He was doing his job. I wouldn't even be doing this. It's a beautiful place with the gorgeous ocean.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there. See him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And so I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a Senate.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here.
That is
Dangerous
insane.
people. Criminals. We have criminals. We have
Right.
drug dealers. We have
I've
people
seconded
that
that.
should not be
Get
here.
on the roof.
It's much tougher than it happened.
Wait, right on the roof, big guy.
In recorded history, we're the best border. In fact, if they could ever put up a chart, I don't know if they can do it. Do you guys have access to that chart that I love so much? You don't mind if I go off teleprompter, do you?
This is still
Because these
going. Now they have a
teleprompters are so
minute to
damn
do
boring. I
something
try
about
and
it.
explain that. Oh, there's it. Wow. You guys are doing it. They're getting better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right?
Minute
so that's
20.
when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then
Minute 40 to react.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that says,
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful, guys.
Rob, you can pause the video at this point. So, Erik, what do you see?
It's over
here?
2 minutes.
What's this?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. How do you process that? I mean, first of all, for somebody that's watching this saying, AP reports that even one of the police officers went up there, the guy points the gun at him, and then the cop goes back down. So the cop knew someone's up there, according to AP, and he goes about his business. 2 minutes. So I sit there and I think about it. I said, okay, when something like this happens and you're watching a video like this, one, it's either lack of competency. Two, they're told to stand down. Three, the DEI hires getting people that are afraid and reacting really slow. Lack of training. Secret Service didn't send their best, or all of the above. How do you process this 2 minutes of incompetency here?
Look, anytime, part of it is confirmation bias. You know, the people that are, whether it's the cop on the periphery, he can't believe this is actually happening in front of his eyes, that there's a guy laying down with a rifle about to do something. I mean, even if the cop that withdrew, even if he had gotten behind cover and discharged his firearm into the grass, it would have attracted so much attention that they would have moved to cover Trump. He would have done something, but he retreated and did nothing. That guy probably should not continue to be a law enforcement officer because they failed. The snipers, the Secret Service counter snipers that supposedly were watching the assassin on the roof, but they have a no shoot first rule. Again, I find that amazing and pathetic that you can lay down with a high-powered rifle scope. I mean, look, the rifle scope that guy had, it either has a 300 Win Mag or a 338 Lapua. He's got a 5 to probably 25 power scope. So you could literally tell the freckles on the sniper's face with that power scope. So their ability to see that he actually had a weapon, that it had a magazine in the gun, was significant, and they could certainly do that over that 2 minute period. And the fact that they didn't shoot is highly concerning, and again, over bureaucratized and not trusting the people on the periphery. So it's a failure on all levels. You're always going to have problems with communications, of people observing things, passing it to someone who passes it to someone else and passes them. There's always going to be friction. I don't see any conspiracy there, but what I do see is a failure of the basics of training and the basics of a plan in the first place that never, ever should have left those areas unguarded, unwatched. There's a water tower nearby that you could have put two dudes up there with long guns and binoculars and owned all of that industrial space to the north. So it's disappointing. It's an embarrassment for America. Again, World War I started because of the assassination of Francis Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, because of bad diplomatic security. This was another case of really bad diplomatic security. I hate to see what America would look like if Donald Trump were murdered, assassinated on Saturday. It would have uncorked a lot of chaos in this country, and we cannot let that happen.
Erik, how bad would it have been?
The suspicions of the people that support Trump, the people that are wary of a deep state, to see their guy struck down while he's supposed to be being protected by federal agents, I think that would be a straw that broke a camel's back. I hate to even predict of what that would look like, but it would be bad.
Okay, so let me go back and ask you more logistical questions. Okay, so outside of the governmental contracts that you've done, who did you work with on the private side? Did you ever do anything with, Exxon? Did you ever do anything with major oil companies, CEOs? Who did you work with on the private side?
We didn't do any private side CEO executive security. We found that to be a little too tedious. We did very high-end government work in the worst of places where there is a very high likelihood of kidnap, murder, mayhem, and protecting against that, of not just a simple one-off attacker, but a complex attack of 10, 15, or 1,500 attackers coming for a facility.
So you know how sometimes, when you're a fighter and somebody that's been fighting for 30 years, and you can tell when a guy's going into the ring, you say, this guy's scared right now, right? Something's off with him right now. Especially a coach, somebody that's been coaching fighters for a long time, and he knows the difference between practicing in, the gym versus the lights on you, everything's on you. You're like, this guy's off, okay? For someone like you that has been working on the missions you've been working on the last however many years when you were doing Blackwater and previous to that, you'll know fairly quickly if somebody in the middle of a battle, what happens to them, right? For some people, if you've seen the movie Fury and you see Brad Pitt in the movie Fury, and the one soldier there shooting, he doesn't know what to do. He pees his pants, right? He just can't even control himself because he's so scared, right? You see something like this, you see that person's not capable. Why is that person here? Why is this person there? But the part that it gets me to be thinking about is purely logistics. And I want to just start off with that, and I got a set of other questions for you. So meaning we're preparing for an event that's coming up in Pennsylvania. Then you go there the president getting there. So 2 weeks before the event happens, we're there in Pennsylvania. President hits the stage. He's speaking during, then post. Purely logistics. What are you doing when you're talking to AV? When you're making sure all the different agencies communicate with each other to make sure it's somewhat centralized? What are you doing to prevent any of these possibilities from happening? How do you process all those together?
The most important part of a security team really is the advance work. That's what you're talking about. The guys that get there 2 and 3 weeks before to map out, to figure out where what we call the sniper hotel, the most likely places the enemy sniper would locate from which to attack you. You go from the most obvious to the least obvious, and it's a process of elimination. You just lock out those possibilities. Clearly, they didn't even lock out the most basic and most obvious of possibilities here. And you make it so that when the actual close protective team that arrives with the principal has a very clear brief of what to watch out for, of where the rally points are going to be, where the evac points, where the primary, where the secondary is. You have all that pre-briefed. What you saw, as you were alluding to about the fear, is you can train out a lot of that, because you can dial up the pressure and the heat and the tension in training so much that when it's real, it doesn't feel that different anymore. Because whether it's with simunitions, right? These are actual high velocity paint rounds that they hurt when they hit you. You can simulate a lot of the experience. The reason the Navy built Top Gun for the US Navy fighter pilots was that they found that if they can get pilots through the first 10 combat missions, their rate of survivability went way up. And that's what they tried to simulate there. You can do the same thing with very good close quarter battle training with simulations, both real, shooting simunitions, and shooting even laser vests. They have vests now that you clamp onto yourself, and they give you significant pain if you're hit in an extremity. So you can simulate all those things and dial up the pressure on these folks. But I don't think they're doing that. Perhaps it was too hard, or not, or they just don't take it seriously. But apparently they need to reevaluate their training, because they are clearly not up to the game right now.
Yeah. So, I hear you when you're saying sniper hotel. For me, automatically you go to think like the bad guy. If you're going to attack, where are you going to do it from, right? I'm going to think about, just logically, we're not even in the space. You're going to think about how somebody's going to be attacking you or not. You just grind through the likelihoods, and you take the most likely to the least likely, and you grind off the possibilities. And then let me ask you, Erik, what's the role AV plays, audio visual, where, how you said the last place you should get shot from is from the side, right? You're saying that should not be happening. Okay, why don't they put bulletproof glass to the side? You can still have Mike on the other side so his speech can go to you. Why don't they put glass here, and to protect from the back, some kind of a shield so somebody can get to him?
Well, it doesn't even have to be a shield. Even if you take away the ability to the line of sight, the ability to see for a sniper outside that perimeter to see would even help a lot. But ballistic panels that large would be extraordinarily heavy and difficult. But there's a lot of permutations to do that. It would not have taken more than 3-4 police officers that were probably out doing some useless traffic stop or useless check station 5 miles from where this event was, to actually be up in the water tower looking around, or tethered drone to give you a very clear line of sight. I would imagine there was confusion, again, from a lack of planning and a lack of communications. There was confusion about whether the actual assassin was some other local law enforcement guy or an actual assassin. And that's where they were trying to deconflict over that 2 minutes. But again, if you have a question, stop the rally, put Trump in a position of safety, pause for 5 minutes, make sure the situation is taken care of, and then carry on. Those rallies go on for a couple hours. I think you would understand that.
Another question for you. In these types of situations, you know how sometimes, again, I keep referencing movies because the average person has seen the movies, and there's a scene where, you know, we have it under control, and we're taking care of this here. And then FBI shows up and says, you guys are dismissed. We got it. The FBI is here. And we're doing it. Why are they going to do this? You guys are dismissed. You're out of here. In this situation, who is superior to who? PD, local, FBI, Secret Service? Who follows the lead so they're all communicating together?
The United States Secret Service is supposed to be the lead agency for protecting the president and the former president.
Got it. So the Secret Service.
And you know, the sad thing is, Patrick, my confidence is so shaken in all the federal agencies that they are so incapable of self-correction, of self-reflection, of cleaning up their own problems that I don't know they'll ever get to the bottom of all the things that went wrong in the situation. And that's terrible. That makes us feel and smell more like the Soviet Union, where it's a collection of lies and a house of cards. And that's really troubling. If you can't trust your institutions to say, okay, this was bad and we really screwed up, and this is where we screwed up, and we're not going to do that again. I don't think any of the federal agencies are capable of that discipline anymore. And that is really, really troubling because the Secret Service was a great institution. It was seen as credible. I mean, we look at how quickly they got Ronald Reagan off the X when John Hinckley opened fire. Quick, very quick. They left President Trump there on the X for almost a minute, not knowing what to do. You hear the audio. What are we doing? Where are we going? It was Keystone Cops, not the highly proficient professional, not the premier protection organization in the world. It is another global embarrassment for America and our institutions. And we, as taxpayers and as citizens, we deserve better.
So on the Ronald Reagan clip, Rob, if you have it, just to show it, so to reference exactly what he's talking about. I've been to that hotel, and go ahead, play the clip.
Washington Milton. He's already gone. See that? He's already in the car and gone.
Rob, back up again. Rob, back up again one more time. Go all the way to the beginning.
Get him out!
11 seconds gone.
And the sad thing is, it was the sixth shot. The last shot that Hinckley took was the one that hit him, and it actually hit the hinge of the armored car door, and that flattened bullet struck Reagan under the left arm, penetrated his lung, and thank God they diverted to George Washington University Hospital. That saved him. But yeah, it doesn't take much.
I want to show something here. Rob, can you go back to that clip? And I want the audience to look for this. See how many women are Secret Service agents. Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it. Find one.
Zero.
So now, so it's zero. Okay. Do me a favor. So if you can stop playing that clip and maybe go to the clip, because this is what I did. I mean, just out of curiosity, when I watched President Trump when he got shot, I saw a lot of women who were there as Secret Service agents. A lot of them. It wasn't like one or two. It was a lot of them. So then I said, okay, maybe it's a new thing because, you know, Biden is the one that's all about the underrepresented community and we need to have LGBTQ and women and all this stuff. So I go and Google Joe Biden, if you can approve the site to come up, Kelly, I go and look up Joe Biden's Secret Service agent. So watch this. Male, everybody's male. I don't see a single female. Look at this, 3 male. I don't see a single female Secret Service agent female. It's all male everywhere. So on one end, why is it that President Biden doesn't trust women as Secret Service agents for himself? But why would he assign Secret Service agents that are women, so many of them, to President Trump?
Rules for thee, but not for me. Look, the Secret Service doesn't up their coverage on the presidential candidates until they actually receive the nomination. Now, the fact is, Trump's been the nominee for months now, but he's also been the former president, so he's certainly requiring that level of protection. It's maybe they have their A team on the president. It's also a fact that Jill Biden had some other event in the area, and so she demanded other Secret Service resources be covering for her. I mean, look, you wonder why Joe Biden is running for president again? It's his wife. She even got the Marine Band, because the Marine Band plays Hail to the Chief on any kind of official walk-on song. And Jill Biden had the Marine Band generate a song for the First Lady, walk-on music for her when she has an official event. So that's a family that has the will to power. And I guess the rest of the federal government is suffering from it.
Another story we were looking at, and by the way, let me stay on this thing here just to kind of show you, to get your thoughts on this. And I don't know how much of this you're following or not. So the first thing I did, I said, I want to know who our, chief of Secret Service agent head is. And you'll see she'll come up here, Kimberly Cheadle. Okay.
Yep.
So you can go look her up and what her background is. Kimberly Cheadle, an American law enforcement officer who served as a 27 Director of United States Service, Secret Service. Let me see how many in the past we've had as female. Okay, boom.
She's the first female.
Well, Julia Pearson is the second one under Barack Obama. So it looks like we've had 2 of them, one under Obama and one under Joe Biden, okay, is what we see here. And if I go back and I read her background, what she did, joined Secret Service 1995, Dick Cheney, Obama. She did some other work budget-wise. She served as a senior director of global security at Pepsi-Cola, where she was responsible for directing and implementing security protocols for companies' facilities in North America. Her role involves development risk management. And then I saw Ann Coulter post this saying, female Secret Service agent fails situational judgment course, ability to separate gunmen from innocent civilians. Kimberly Cheadle authorized her graduation anyway in order to fill the girl quota. I don't know how much credibility is behind this or not, but when I went over here and I looked at some of this stuff, this becomes deeply concerning. Do you think America, and specifically President Biden and maybe the opposing side, is sitting there saying, listen, maybe this DEI stuff is a bad idea, definitely when it comes down to Secret Service, definitely when it comes down to protection, definitely when it comes down to certain things. For example, as a father, I got 4 kids. I don't want a babysitter to be a guy. I just don't. I want a babysitter to be a woman because she's more gentle, loving, a different way of taking care of my kids. There's certain jobs I don't want a man to do the job. I want a woman to do the job. When it comes down to protecting the president, the potential president, this is not a place where DEI becomes an argument. Do you think this is going to cause people on the opposing side to say, guys, this is a terrible idea. We got to get rid of this idea permanently moving forward. Let's have men protect our presidents in the future.
I don't think it'll change the left's opinion until it affects someone the left cares about. I mean, when you see some of the awful comments made by the left about encouraging people to aim better, it's ugly. I don't think the left will change their opinion until they're made to suffer. They're made to live with the consequences of their social engineered, politically incorrect or politically correct paradigm. Again, whether you're the pilot of Air Force One, whether you're protecting the president, whether you're a submarine captain. I don't care what gender they are, who they sleep with. I don't care. I just want them to do the exact job that is necessary and have a well of capability to do that job. And when you inject race and gender and sexual preference and whatever else into it, it is distracting from the mission. America was built as being a meritocracy, and this is a fundamental difference. It's a Sovietization of America, so that all appointments are based on politics, not based on merit.
Yeah, because, I was disappointed to see that Joe Biden didn't have any Secret Service members that were lesbian, gay, or trans, and they were all white males. Kind of little, according to their own words, it's a little racist to only have white male protecting you. Why don't you trust women or gays and lesbians to protect you? A little bit contradictory. I was a little bit concerned that he wasn't being aligned with his own philosophies when I saw that.
Listen, a word of warning. I have 1% left on my phone, so I'm about to die here.
And I'm going to keep you this last one here. We saw the RNC coordinator for Secret Service. She said the following words here. I'll show this to you, and I want to get your thoughts on how you feel right now being at the RNC and how safe you feel for the president. Here's a clip of what she had to say. Rob, if you have it, actually, I found it myself. So if you guys can approve it, I can play it so we can get a reaction from him. Let me get the.
You there, Patrick?
Mission is a national special security event.
So Eric, if I have you,
of security designation.
Do I still have you, or did I lose you?
So we are confident in these security plans that are in place for this event.
Can you stop playing it?
It's been an 18 months.
Eric, do we have you? I think we lost him. Anyways, that kind of gives you an idea how much of the contradiction there is if you're watching this at the end. I mean, for me, I was just curious to know what Eric thought about the approach you would take in a situation like this after a former president who potentially could be the next president. And you just had all these events that took place. Are you changing any of it? No. Female head of Secret Service and a female head of Secret Service for the RNC. You making any changes? We're going to take the same exact approach. Really? You don't learn anything from your mistakes? You don't learn anything from the mistakes you guys made that the president almost died? You're not thinking like, hey, it's not a big deal. Maybe let's be a little bit more responsible about this thing. No, we're going to take the same exact approach. That's what we're going to be doing. No game plan. You play a game and you lose the game and you say, hey, guys, we have to pay attention to the line when they're coming through, our offense, the way you were trying to catch the ball. We didn't do a good job with that play. None of that stuff. No, we're going to go through the same exact game plan that cost us the Super Bowl last year. We're going to do the same exact thing. Have you ever heard a head coach say something like that? You ever heard a leader of a team say something like that? Or you think they make adjustments? Who doesn't make adjustments? Do you make adjustments on the way you parent? Do you make adjustments on the way you approach your marriage? Do you make adjustments when something happens to your health? You go to the doctor. Hey, you had a heart attack. Something happened to you. You put on 50 pounds. Your knees can't handle it. You don't leave the doctor and the doctor says, listen, your sugar level is high. Cholesterol level is high. If you don't make any kind of adjustments, your life's on the line. You come back. Are you doing anything with your diet? No, we're going to go the same exact way. Babe, can I get a cheesecake and let's order a double, what do you call it? A double cheeseburger with extra bacon. And do me a favor, order 2 large pizzas with everything on it, double the cheese. I'm not going to change any game plan. I mean, the average person watches that and saying you're delusional to say something like that. And the RNC is there this week. Anyways, there's a part of me that's always optimistic, always more optimistic than paranoid. But there's also part of me that is concerned about what happens in situations like this because only the paranoid survive. We're going to see what's going to be happening. Folks, we'll be doing a home team podcast tomorrow. for those who are tuning in, tonight the president is about to announce the VP choice. They showed the barricade. Rob, if you have the clip of J.D. Vance going through the, what do you call it? Coming and picking him up. If you have it, Rob, if you can play this clip. He's the only one so far that had a full-on, crew come and pick him up. If you guys didn't see this, let me see if I have it here, Rob, if you can show it. Yeah, motorcade. Oh, go ahead and play this clip. So this is Trump VP contender J.D. Vance spotted departing Cincinnati, Ohio, home in a motorcade. Why would they do that? A lot of people are saying because he's the next VP. There's also a conversation about the fact that Trump just had a meeting with RFK. Could RFK be a possibility? That'd be one hell of a surprise if last minute those two united. Can you imagine one asked for more Secret Service, didn't get it. The other asked for Secret Service, didn't get it at all. What if the two unite? And just earlier, Trump tweeted something, if not on his, on Truth Social, about the fact that he believes RFK deserves additional security. And some are saying RFK was spotted at the RNC. A lot of things are going on right now, a lot of partnerships, a lot of negotiations on both ends. But we'll do a home team tomorrow to react to all of it. In light of what's going on in the world today, I believe it is imperative that RFK receive Secret Service protection immediately. Given the history of the Kennedy family, this is the obvious right thing to do. Whether they will or not, I don't know. Whether Trump picks him as a VP or not, no one knows. A lot of people are saying J.D. Vance today, including Vegas odds, or he can all of a sudden surprise everybody, and everybody's saying, look at this, look at this, look at this. Doug Burgum is the vice president, and everyone's shell-shocked. Yesterday, I was at this area in Montauk, pretty high-end area. I'm walking around talking to a lot of different people. I met this family who's registered independent, more on the left. They believe in climate change. There's certain things that they like. They said, we would be willing to vote for Trump if Doug Burgum is the VP, not if J.D. Vance, because of some of the old clips, all this stuff. There's a lot of debate going on right now. But we'll see what's going to be happening. Anyways, gang, this was just the podcast I wanted to do to get Erik Prince's perspective. We're going to do a home team pass tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.